coming up on DC News Now. Public transit in trouble. Metro's massive budget shortfall could spell disaster in the DMV. What board members had to say about the looming crisis.
Then we're going one-on-one with DC's new police chief. Her priorities for a depleted department battling a surge of violent crime.
Warmer temperatures are going to return on our Friday. We'll let you know how long this warmth sticks around.
Plus, a monumental move on the horizon for the Capitals and the Wizards. Some businesses in the district now saying if the teams go, so do they.
And is it too late to ship those last-minute holiday gifts? We're breaking down the deadlines you need to know.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Elisa Gale. Happening now, Metro leaders are weighing the worst-case scenario for the transit system. WMATA's $750 million budget shortfall, again, could spell big trouble for commuters all across the DMV.
And today, our Randy Bass heard from the transit system CEO for the first time since they laid out this new budget. She's live at the Potomac Yard station tonight. Randy, what did he have to say about the system's future?
Yeah, Mark and Elisa, Randy Clark was very clear when I had a chance to talk to him today. He's optimistic about the future, but says it's also clear that nobody wants what's laid out in this current budget as it stands. It involves severe service cuts, mass layoffs, station closures, fare hikes, all things that Randy Clark and, of course, Metro riders don't want at this point. He's sounding the alarm for local governments to help close this major funding gap. He says that's the big solution here. Some of the news today, Maryland has already come forward with a $150 million offer to help offset the shortfall. It still needs full approval from legislators, but Randy Clark says it's a good start. Now they need Virginia and D.C. to help make up the difference. Clark says it's time to finally find a solution for Metro's constant struggle for cash.
We don't have control over our own funding, and this process has happened over and over here at Metro, and it's kind of frustrating, I think, to most people because this thing does keep happening over and over, and we need predictable, dedicated funding, and I think the jurisdictions all want that too. I think everyone's tired of the WMATA budgetary drama that happens.
Yeah, and as all of this tries to work itself out over the next couple of months, Randy Clark says Metro has to proceed forward as if that worst case scenario situation comes to fruition. And Elisa?
Thank you. And part of that worst case scenario with the budget involves closing 10 stations. Do we have a better idea of what stations exactly could be impacted by all of that?
Yeah, Annalisa, the station we're at right now, Potomac Yard, just opened up within the last year, but could be one of the first stations Metro decides to close should it face that major budget shortfall. Metro says it would close those 10 lowest ridership stations, and right now Potomac Yard is one of them. And of course, it's not a great look because this comes on the heels of the big announcement yesterday from Monumental Sports and Entertainment wanting to move the two big teams from DC, the Wizards and the Capitals, right next door to a brand new arena and entertainment complex. At this point, though, ridership levels here are low, but that situation and Metro's money situation could very well change over the next several years as that deal with Monumental Sports and Entertainment gets underway. For now, live at Potomac Yard, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, yeah, lots to keep an eye on there. Well, this is a live look at Rosin here at 404. Beautiful outside right now.
Absolutely. Let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson with the first look at the forecast. Damon, a little chilly start to the morning, but a mild warm-up.
Yeah, we've had those cold mornings here all week long, so I wouldn't say we're getting used to them, but maybe it's something that we expect as we begin our day. Today was another one of those. That's where we started out, folks. Teens in northern Virginia, back to the Shenandoah Valley. D.C. even dropped down just below 30 degrees as pretty much the entire DMV ended up in the 20s. But given a decent amount of sunshine and lighter winds, I wouldn't say it got warm out there today, but it certainly warmed up as as we stayed seasonably chilly through the afternoon. D.C. just missing that 50-degree mark at this hour. Frederick is at 48, and then we have Woodstock 52, so at least upper 40s on average across the entire DMV. And like I was mentioning, we definitely got to enjoy that with a lot of sunshine, just a few passing clouds here and there as high pressure continues to be the main player with our weather conditions here as we move along through the end of the week. It's looking pretty good here. Look at that. Planning out your evening ahead. Plenty of clear sky, plenty of calm conditions. It will start to feel a little cold, though, the later in the night that we go, as we do once again fall back down toward the freezing mark, if not a little bit below that, as we end up into this Thursday night. But as we head toward Friday, it looks like that warm up we've been talking about finally gets here. How warm are those temperatures going to get to wrap up the week tomorrow? And what's the latest on the messy storm system that is likely to arrive here on Sunday? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And breaking right now, Rockville City Police have closed down East Montgomery Avenue. They are asking people to avoid that area. We have a crew headed to the scene, and they'll join us when they learn more. And developing now, the news out of Monumental Sports and Entertainment moving from D.C. to Virginia came suddenly, blindsiding many in the Delray and Potomac Landing areas in Alexandria. DC News Now asked Council Member John Chapman about the process and why negotiating the deal wasn't more public. He said that the council didn't post specifics about the project before now because it would have killed the potential for the deal. But he said the council has been looking at the deal for quite some time. As Alexandrians asked what the site would mean for the community, Chapman says he believes that good planning would ensure no negative impact on the region.
So I don't want to generalize, but I want to be cautiously optimistic about the ability to mitigate what most folks stereotype comes with a stadium. Whether it's the amount of people, traffic, crime, and incidents. We want to make sure that we are putting in particular solutions and policy that's going to make sure that we deal with any of those potentials.
Our Haley Milan spoke with more with leaders and community members today, and she's going to have much more coming up on DC News Now at 5. So now businesses near the current home of the teams are reacting to the news of the move. Clyde's is a staple in the neighborhood, especially to fans going to or leaving games, and they responded to our request for comments saying that they were heartbroken by the potential departure, and they said that they'd been arm in arm with the teams for 18 years. And if they were to leave, it's unlikely the restaurant would stay in place.
And happening right now, D.C. is still trying to get a handle on the significant rise in violent crime. Police saying they've seen a spike in homicides, many of those crimes being committed there by juveniles. And it all comes as a new chief has officially taken over. Our political and government reporter Leonard and Fleming had a chance to sit down with Chief Smith. And Leonard, what did she say about her strategies?
Chief Smith tells me she is frustrated like D.C.'s mayor is about young people committing serious crimes. I asked her if it's time for more draconian measures to not only hold juveniles accountable, but their parents.
I have bordered around the conversation about holding parents accountable because there is some accountability that has to happen.
D.C.'s new police chief, Pamela Smith, says she is concerned about the jump in juvenile crime.
I'll tell you this, it starts in the home. And we need, and if we can get to the root of the problem there, then we may be able to see a shift or a change within our young people.
For the first 9 months of the year, there were 458 juvenile arrests for carjackings, robberies, homicides, and assaults with a deadly weapon, according to police statistics. But what about the parents? What about holding the parents accountable?
I would be in favor of something like that as long as it doesn't go too far. I mean, because we do have to recognize that there are some parents who try very hard with their children.
Last month, Mayor Bowser declared a state of emergency to primarily deal with youth crime. Smith tells me parents fail with their children and others have tried with little success.
I've spoken to quite a few who have said, listen, I've done the best that I can. If there's something that someone else can do with them.
The mayor is advocating for tougher consequences against young people who turn to violence.
If there's neglect for our children or educational neglect in any of those spaces, there are laws that are already in place to address that.
Chief Smith tells me that bad behavior that leads to crime will not be tolerated and there will be serious consequences. Reporting in the studio, Leonard and Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
All right, Leonard, thank you. Meanwhile, in Maryland this afternoon, 2 classrooms at an elementary school in Frederick were evacuated after pepper spray was released this morning. It happened at Orchard Grove Elementary School. The school system says they were evacuated out of an abundance of caution. What led up to that? This charge there has not been disclosed by the Sheriff's Department or the school system. Regular activities are continuing at that school. FCPS maintenance crews, fire crews, and school resource officers were also on the scene. Also new tonight, back in the district, the Attorney General says Lyft will provide nearly $90,000 in refunds to scooter users who were charged a parking fee without being notified. This applies to scooter users charged between January and September of last year when the error allegedly occurred. Now, the Attorney General says Lyft will now share more information about parking fines with scooter users. The company will also take photos of any alleged parking violations so that the users can review the fines and challenge them if necessary. Now, as part of the settlement, the company will also pay the district $20,000. In a statement to DC News Now, Lyft says they are continually improving their efforts to educate riders on how to safely and properly park according to the district scooter parking requirements, and have recently made a number of improvements to give riders a clearer and simpler process when they believe they did not.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore signed an executive order to continue fighting the overdose epidemic. The move means that he will double the size of the new Maryland Overdose Response Advisory Council, which is focusing on prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and public safety. The group will work under the Maryland Department of Health. In attendance today were the parents of Moore's late friend, who he says died as a result of an overdose.
I think about people like my friend David Lund. Where 4 years ago, my friend David Lund Jr. died of a drug overdose. We had known each other since we were teenagers. He was a third-generation Baltimorean.
According to the Deputy Secretary of Maryland's Behavioral Health Department, there's more than 2,000 deadly overdose cases reported by July of 2023. Fentanyl was linked to over 81% of those cases.